And by the way, that was starting out of second gear. Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video, we're gonna be going over a 2021 Hyundai Tucson in the Ultimate Package. So, first and foremost, a huge shout out and thank you to Southtown Hyundai here in Utah for providing us with the Tucson. Check out their inventory in the link below. Let's just get right into the video. Under the hood of the Tucson, we have a naturally aspirated 2.4 liter 4-cylinder that goes to a 6-speed automatic transmission. Fuel economy is 21 around town and then 26 on the highway, with power outputs being 181 horsepower and then 175 pound-feet of torque. Let's go over the front end on the Tucson. So first and foremost, I really like the headlights that the Tucson has. It's really cool, just all the individual bulbs inside of there, and then also the LED accent light that's just like a giant check mark. And then you've got like Hyundai's signature front end grille. You've got the fog lights there just down below. And other than that, it's pretty simple with the design on the front end. Nothing too crazy, but I definitely think it's good looking. Here around the side, we've got two 25mm tires and 18-inch wheels in the front and over in the rear as well, and I love the design on these wheels. It's just really cool how many spokes it actually has. It's like a bunch of giant little V's inside of it, but it just looks really unique and good in my opinion. And then you've got the plastic molding all around, so if you do ever take this camping or off-roading, you don't have to feel too bad if that little part gets scratched up, and it's really inexpensive to replace as well. And then other than that, here is like your full side view on the Tucson. Coming here to the back of the Tucson, you can see the storage space is really solid here in the rear. You actually get a little 12-volt right there on the side. Here's what the floor mats look like here in the Tucson, and lifting this up, you can see the spare tires just underneath. But yeah, just from like a storage space perspective, it's really large, and that's all for the rear. Going over the rear of the Tucson, this is the part that looks a little bit dated, but it's not bad by any means, and it's mostly the taillights. They haven't gone for like the sharper look that some of the newer Hyundais have for the taillights, and that's kind of the only thing. And the reflector coming across here, pretty interesting with just how that looks, but it definitely has that like roundish look that SUVs and hatchbacks have. And then also you've got the crossbars at the top, and then you can see the roof. It's like all black here in the middle portion. You guys will kind of understand that in a little bit. Coming to the door panel here in the rear, you notice that you actually get some padding right here, and then you got the window control and then the heated seat adjustment for the rear passengers. And then here are the seats in the rear. So you've got this lighter color for the seats. You got the nice perforations in them, and then you have the white stitching as well. Just the feel of them and the look of them is really solid in general. And as always, let's pop in. So stepping in, oh, of course I hit my head. I always hit my head on like every single car game. Anyways, I'm 5'11", so you guys are wondering what the headroom, I mean, I'm pretty close, but it's decent, and I like have my arm awkwardly here. Anyways, in terms of legroom, it's okay as well. And then you can see you've got the vents right here, and then you've got a little 12 volts, and then this also doubles as like an armrest and some cup holders and all of that. And well, that is everything for the rear. Now here's the door panel at the front of the Tucson. So again, you've got that little armrest right here. All of your window controls, mirror controls, all in the normal area. Yes, it does come with blind spot monitoring as well. And then here are the seats at the front. So again, you've got all that leather throughout. You've got the nice perforations on the leather. And then you can see you've got the adjustments there on the side of the seat. Here's what the pedals look like at the bottom. And then over here, we can see we've got the blind spot monitoring. You've got the lane keep assist stability control. That is the locker. And then you can see over here, this is to hold the tailgate at different positions. And other than that, here is one more look before we get in. Here's the steering wheel in the Tucson. You can see you've got the little pages button right here. You've got this for the cruise control, all of that stuff, pretty standard. And then over here, voice command controls, phone controls, all of that, again, pretty standard. You've got the stitching here on the inside of the steering wheel, and then smooth black leather for the rest of the steering wheel. In terms of the feel of it and look of it, I think it looks pretty good, and then the feel of it feels very nice in your hands. And then you've got that stock for the windshield wipers, that for the lights, and well, that's all. Here in the gauge clutch, you got RPMs on the left side and the right side. You've got the speed, and then you can see the pages. You can scroll through a couple different bits of information in the car. Pretty easy to use in general. Shows you information on the car, shows you stuff on the safety tech, all that. Pretty simple. Let's go over the center infotainment system. Popping it into reverse, you can see you've got the backup camera, and then you have the bird's eye view. The trajectory lines will turn with the camera, and you can see there's a couple different views you can go through. So you can go through like full backup camera, and then you have the camera at the side angle, and then a camera at the other side angle, which is pretty cool. But my favorite part is you're in reverse, and then you go into drive, and then it goes to the frontal camera. So it's pretty neat that it goes between the two. So like if you're in a really tight parking space, that'll make it a whole lot easier. With the rest of the infotainment system, this new infotainment system, the Hyundai's response time on it's pretty good. You've got the Android Auto and Apple CarPlay that comes with it as well, and then you've got all the analog buttons on the side. It looks pretty good, and then in terms of the functionality on it, it's easy to use. A couple vents right here, and we have the whole climate control section. So yes, it is a dual zone climate, but on top of that, you got heated ventilated seats and a heated steering wheel, which is all pretty neat. And then you've got a little charging area, a couple 12 volts, and then a wireless phone charger. Here is the shifter for that 6-speed automatic transmission, and then yes, you can manually shift the gears. Got the little parking brake right here, auto hold, and then you've got your drive mode select, hill descent control, and then this is just for the cameras to basically have that on or off when you go into reverse with all the different views. And then we've got the drive modes again. So all you have to do is just press that in, and then you can see that you've got the sport, and then you got normal. That's it. There's no in between. You're either driving like a race car driver, or you're driving around and getting good gas mileage. Pick your choice. Now here is the center console. You can see storage space in here, also really solid as well. And then coming over to the glove box, again, good on the storage space. And you can see you've got leather all along here with the stitching right there that goes through the center. Just looks really good in general. I like kind of how it like all flows together with the interior, and how they have like the light on the bottom and the dark on the top, and it connects perfectly. Now up top here, you've got the sunglass holder, and then this does have a full panoramic sunroof, and that's why the whole roof is black, is because, well, it's a giant sunroof. And I think it looks pretty cool though with like having a black roof on this car. But yeah, that's the top and nothing else. Now that we're done going over the interior on this Tucson, let's quickly get into pricing. So this Tucson stickers are about $34,000 for any type of market adjustment, which I just drove a new Kona, and that one's stickered for $31,000. This is only $3,000 more, and it's a bigger vehicle, and so it's actually a pretty good value proposition. Anyways, that all being said, let's take this Tucson out and see how it drives. Talk about visibility here in the Tucson before we set off. So you can see visibility over the hood's really solid, and then there's your visibility through both the mirrors. Remember, we do get blind spot monitoring in them. And then here's through the rest of the rear. So in general, visibility is really good in the Tucson. And that all being said, let's set off. Well, as you can see, we are setting off here in the Tucson. The first thing I want to talk about is going to be the road noise and the ride quality. So initially, with the road noise that comes through, it's average for vehicles in this segment. I would say it's maybe actually a little bit better, so a little bit above average. And then in terms of the ride quality, again, I'd put that on average, so it's not any better, it's not any worse, it's right where it needs to be. And we'll kind of see what the brakes are like pulling up to this light, since we got to take a little bit of a stop here. Yeah, brakes are good as well, and you guys can see again with the visibility throughout this, it's really solid to see out of. I mean, it's super easy. And yeah, well, we're getting our like minor acceleration here. Yeah, so it does pretty well with kind of like the little minor acceleration. Now we are going to pop it over into sport mode and into the manual shift mode for our full-blown acceleration here. Yeah, again, those brakes are pretty good for this little SUV. Turning's really good too, but we'll see how she goes. And by the way, that was starting out of second gear, so I was starting at a little bit of a disadvantage. But the acceleration is kind of right where I expected it to be, and the downshifts on this, pretty responsive. It does kind of, you definitely feel it. Yeah, you definitely feel it with the gear shifts on the downshifts itself, but it's not bad by any means. It's relatively smooth transmission, a little bit on the slower side for the gear shifts, but again, it's not bad by any means. And that'll actually get me into summing things up with the Tucson. So if you're looking for obviously kind of like a middle of the lines for the size of an SUV, so think Toyota RAV4, think Honda CR-V, that kind of size, Jeep Cherokee, not Grand Cherokee, just the regular Cherokee. So if you're kind of looking for that size of SUV, then the Tucson's a great offering. It comes with a bunch of safety tech, as standard equipment actually, which is pretty nice when you get up into the higher trim packages. I feel like the price point's really competitive, because I mean, a fully loaded CRV or a fully loaded RAV4, for example, you're going to be out almost 40 grand nowadays. And so this is actually a little bit less money for similar equipment, and I feel like the interior quality is about the same. And so just like as an overall value, I can definitely see it. And so if you're looking for that size of SUV, yeah, you definitely have to check out the Tucson. And there we have it, everyone, the 2021 Hyundai Tucson. And again, a huge shout out and thank you to Southtown Hyundai for providing us with the Tucson. Check out their inventory in the link below. I will see all of you in the next video, and there's totally a spider on my microphone.